Hey, it's Rod Bergeron here with you, and I'm once again out in Peter's Woods. And sometimes you're looking for a subject matter, and I'm looking for subject matter for a bigger piece of work that I'm going to do. And I'm looking for interesting things about trees, not just trees, other things in nature out here in Peter's Woods. And I was walking by and I seen this. And I got about half a kilometer and I turned around and I came back because where else are you going to see this in the entire world? This is the interesting stuff that makes plein air fun to do. You're never going to see this ever again. I'm never going to see this ever again, I should say. I could come back here and visit this again, but it's going to be a different time and a different place and a different season, a different day, different sun, wind, smell. If you want to do something in plein air, you need to stop as soon as you see the thing and do it. Like there's no do-over. There's no second chance. When you see it and you're interested in it, you have to do it. And I have to do this. This is the craziest pine tree root system I've seen in a long time. And I think I'm gonna have to just give it a crack and see what happens. I'm only gonna do this though. I'm not gonna do the rest of the tree. The rest of the tree is just mundane pine tree. But this is something really special. So let's have a crack at it and do a field study of this. Remember, field studies are not meant to be finished pieces of work. Field studies are meant to be just that. They're meant to be field studies. I'm looking at it and I'm trying to understand this thing. I'm trying to figure out an interesting way to get this on the page. So let's have it. All right, let's get at this. Put my glasses away. Okay, I'm moving that camera around. I am really in an awkward, super awkward spot right now. I wonder sometimes, like, how the hell did I get myself here? But I'm between. Okay, so just so that you know, like the way that I film stuff is, I'll draw you a picture of it. All right. Here's the thing, whatever it is that I'm drawing. Here's the tripod with the camera looking down. Here's me on my stool doing my drawing, okay? And so right now there's also a tree behind me. So between the root system and this tree is about 3 feet. So I'm close, really. But there's no other angle. All of the other ground around it is not something that you can sit on. So, sorry, I'm moving that. I'm gonna have to figure out where that stick is that I'm standing on. All right, I'm trying to not shake the camera, believe it or not, and that's not comfortable to sit like that. So, root system. All right, so on the far right side of this is just regular tree. Okay, so I'm just going to put up the normal pine tree. Coming out right beside this is a long part of the root system, and part of it is actually goes into the ground right from there, and from there there's another piece that goes right into the ground and comes up, and then there's a bigger piece that curves under here. You have to think there must be a stone, or there's got to be something underneath there that's stopping that root system. And there's a couple of small branches like this that are coming out there. Then there's a longer, thicker one. And then from here, There's one that comes way out like this, and then it joins on like that. These you can't see because this is all leaves under here. And then from here, there's another one that actually comes off this tree and down like this. And it has a kind of a chunk off of it. And then this comes in here, and then this goes like that. This is very dark areas in here. This also has another chunk that comes off in this crazy loop and comes back down this way. Alright, now I haven't even started to draw the main, this is the main part of this. Actually comes back and this comes up. And this is the big part that comes out. Curves back this way. Comes like this. Comes down. And then like that. Again, this comes up like this. It comes way out. There's a flat, rounded kind of an area. This comes down, cranks over like this, and then comes down, humps up, and then does that. It's just crazy. It's the craziest root system I've ever seen. It has to be on a rock or something. There has to be something underneath there that's doing this to this poor little pine tree. Alright, now this comes up here like this, and then this turns. And it actually has another part that comes out here. It comes down across this way. It's just the craziest looking thing, I know, but it's the coolest root system I've ever seen on any kind of a pine tree for sure. I've never seen anything like this on a pine tree. Then there's the ground sort of goes like this and back up into here like that. There's another whole part that's off in behind there that I'm not even going to be able to draw in there because it's so ridiculous. Actually, I just drew that on there, and that's part of it, so I guess I am going to have to draw that. But there's a part in the back here, and I'm going to stipple that in. And there's a little bit here, but this is all, I'm going to put this in sort of rounded hatching, or rounded stippling, I should say. This goes off like this. And then this, and I'm going to stipple all of this in that's further back there. And so this gives me a strong indication that this is not, when I stipple this in, this doesn't look like, this isn't the normal piece of drawing. So when I'm going to see this, I'm going to say, oh, why did I stipple that in there? When I go back and I look at the photographs, I'm going to know why I stippled that in there, because it recedes quite a ways back into the back. This is an interesting little hump area here. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do here really quickly, and I might time-lapse this, is I'm going to double up all of these lines. I literally am going to double up every line that I've put on here so far. Okay, so that gives some strong indications as to, you know, what is what and where everything is. I'm going to put in some curved hatching now to give some indication as to what is rounded, how it's rounded, and the direction that it's rounded. In other words, this is a root that's coming down like this, so I'm going to give this some indication that this is rounded like this. Alright? This is a large root that's rounded like that. And it continues to go in that sort of a direction until it gets here. And then it starts to do that. Okay? Here, this is rounded in this direction, so I'm going to curve these hatching to do that. This one here, I'm going to make curve down like this. This one here, I'm going to do sort of the same thing here, except I'm going to come across here and do that. And then this one here goes the other way, it's coming down. This one here goes coming down. This one here, maybe I'll go in the opposite direction of that. So how it is you curve in your hatching will give a strong indication as to sort of the how it is that that thing is curved and why it's bent the way that you have drawn it bent. This here I'm going to put in just a few of these because this is quite a ways back there. Okay? So one of the things I want to do to this, I'm really liking the way that this is turning out, but I don't think I have a really good indication as to why I can't see the bottom of these. So I'm going to put in some leaves on the bottom of that. I think this is really turning out well. This is really turning out the way that I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to grab out some pencil crayons. A lot of these leaves here today have this sort of goldeny, yellowy kind of tinge to them. The tree is obviously brown, many different browns, so I'm going to get out a couple of browns and a couple of reds. And I might even give out a little bit of blue for some highlights in there. I'm going to use this blue. Alright, I know people are watching me going, blue? What is he talking about? A little bit of that on there. Nice. I'm going to take a little bit of this blue and I'm going to put in a little bit of my shadow in here, being blue. Some of these areas. Just a little bit of blue in there instead of making those shadows dark and dreary. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to them. That area, and that area, and that area. Okay, there we go. A little bit of blue to it. Now I'm going to get back in here, put in some more of these leaves. You can make them jagged if you want. You can add in some circularness. There's a lot of these leaves are rounded leaves. There's a lot of ash trees and things like that in here, so a lot of them are circular leaves. Put that right over top of that blue, just like that. All right, now we're going to add some highlights. Just a couple of, semicircle kind of things to allude to the idea of leaves in here. Not drawing in individual leaves, I'm alluding to the idea of leaves, I should say. Alright, that's not too bad at all. A little bit of lighter yellow, but now I'm going to put this lighter yellow in very sparingly, just a few places with the lighter yellow. Alright. Color in a little bit of this, make this a little red. Went outside the line there a little bit, that's okay. It's a field study. Keep telling yourself that. It's a field study. Alright. That's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to take that out. Alright, so there we go. That's it. I'm going to erase this because it's going to drive me bonkers. I know it. If you learned anything from me today, please click liked. If you got a question or a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I really want to know what kind of work people that are watching me are doing. I'd love to see your work. All of the products that I use, links to all those products are contained in the description below. Alright, I had to go get an eraser. I'm going to tell you, I have to look for an eraser. Erasers are not something that I typically believe in, but I'm not a big fan of this, so I'm going to take that out. Pencil crayon's hard to erase. I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. There's also a little spot right here that's going to drive me bonkers too. Hey there. I think this is actually the funnest day I've had outside in a long time. It's honestly, it's the most fun I've had doing in plein air, I think, ever. I love coming out to the woods. I love drawing and painting, and when you get to combine those two things together, I mean, how can you have anything but fun? So I think if you're an artist that only works in the studio, you need to get your art supplies together and you need to get outside in the real world and try doing some drawing and painting outside. It really is, it energizes you and it makes you just such a better artist if you do it. I don't care who you are, there's no substitute for having the real thing in front of you. Painting and drawing from a picture is just painting and drawing and copying a photograph or copying the information from a photograph. Actually being outside and experiencing things and seeing things and understanding things should be your job as an artist. Your job as an artist should be to understand those things, put them down on a page, make a sculpture out of them, draw them, paint them, whatever it is, and then spew it back out for the rest of the world to see and have them interpret what it is that you're looking at and what it is that you're doing. For me, there's no substitute for the real thing. And I've just had a blast out here today in the woods. I've done so much work. I've shot hours and hours of video, and I've just had a really good time doing it. It's getting very late in the day though. I've only got about an hour of sunlight left, so I got to get my stuff together and get out of here. If you're currently a subscriber, I really do appreciate it. How I got to 500 subscribers, how 500 people follow me, is really a mystery to me. I'm so grateful. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. I hope you enjoy what it is that I do, and I really hope to continue doing it. So thanks a lot for checking me out. Please keep checking me out. I hope to come and check out many of your YouTube channels and see what other YouTubers are doing. Thanks a lot for watching me. I really do appreciate you. I gotta go eat something.